today are Justin Danielle Del Monte and illustrator Brandon Chappell. Chappell or Chappell? Hang on.
Yeah.
Okay. Say
Chapel.
Is it chapel?
Yeah, you had it right.
Yeah,
Like the
okay.
church.
Like the church.
Yeah.
Oh, yay. Okay. Our guests today are Justin Danielle Del Monte and
Justine.
Justine. You gotta correct me if I say it wrong.
Oh, okay, I thought you were gonna do it again.
I know, you're polite. Okay. Our guest today on KVC Arts is Justine Danielle Del Monte and Brandon Chappell. Let's try that again. Our guests today are Justin Danielle Del Monte and Brandon Chappell. Did I get it?
Justine.
Justine. What did I say?
Justine
You
Chappell.
think of Justin Bieber?
You need to rename your daughter.
Yeah, I'll be Justin
Try it
Bieber.
again.
Just say Justin
To
Bieber.
Justin.
Okay. Our guests today are Justine Danielle Del Monte and Brandon Chappell. Thank you for being here. Now you guys are back by popular demand because I thought you were popular, so I brought you back. So let's go back a little bit. The first book that you wrote was Drew's Dancing Drum,
Yes.
and then you followed it with Drew Meets Boo, and now we have a new book, Drew and the Cyber Bully. Just to refresh and remind our audiences, you wrote the first book. Tell me about that.
Yes, when I was 11 in 7th grade, my teacher gave me an assignment to write a story for first graders. And she said, write something that you're passionate about and something that first graders will enjoy. And so in a couple of minutes, I wrote Drew's Dancing Drum. And then it escalated from there, and Brandon got involved with the story, and now it's a real published book, which is crazy.
So you took the first book, Drew's Dancing Drum, and then you wrote Drew Meets Boo. Why did you decide to do the second book?
Well, originally I thought Drew's Dancing Drum was just going to be a little assignment, and then when it turned into a book, I realized how much I enjoyed writing it and how much I enjoyed the process. And I wanted other people to enjoy more of Drew's stories, and I wanted to get a girl in there too, because, you know, I thought that'd be fun. And so I thought Drew Meets Boo could give a positive message that kind of overpasses bullying and brings it about positivity and happiness and making kids understand that they have to be friends and not care about what the bullies say.
Okay, so you write the words, but Brandon kind of brings your books to life with his illustrations. Brandon, where do you get the concept and the ideas of, because she gives you the words and then you have to bring them to life. How does that process for you?
You know, start off with, of course, self-reflecting on my own life and my own experiences, and then I like to go everywhere I can, go on trips, vacations, see how I can pull material from outside my own life and see how many people are, you know, seeing it at the same way I am, or maybe differently. How many people are involved in the story as she writes it, or they can relate to it too. And then also going online, videos, reference as much as possible, because you can never have too much reference when you're doing illustration.
Now, you came up with the look of Drew and Boo. Is that your typical artwork, or is that, because that's the only artwork I've seen of yours, so is that the kind of cartoonish look that you have, or do you do other types of art?
Well, I actually started off more realistic. When I was growing up, I tried to draw as real as possible with the shadows, the details. I drew a lot of human characters, and it wasn't until probably Drew series I got more into cartooning, more into illustrative style. So it was a brand new style I had to come up with. It was all digital hand painting in the computer rather than using, you know, paper and pencils and that kind of mediums. So it was a challenge for me for sure, just coming up with the style and a new approach to it. And now I'm kind of definitely blocked into that style for all my artwork now.
Now, today we had the opportunity to take you to one of our local elementary schools here in San Bernardino, where you both had the opportunity to read to students. What was that experience like for you?
It was amazing. The kids, they're so into it. You know, they ask so many questions, and they're so honest with their answers and everything. And so many kids, they just looked inspired. You know, they want to go be artists now, and they love the story. They love the characters. They want to see what's going to happen next. And it's a real treat for us, because when we come in there, we're like the role model. You know, we're special guests, and they're not used to seeing us, and it seems like they just want you to come back right away. So I loved it.
And Justine, what about for you?
Well, it was especially exciting for me, I think, because I am in high school now, but I wrote it when I was in middle school, and so I was used to seeing like younger kids, and I got to read it to them. But now that I'm in high school, I haven't been around younger kids as much, and getting back to that and seeing their faces when I like told the story and when they made the drum noises from Drew's Dancing Drum, it just made me so excited because I love working with kids and reading the stories, and I think they love interacting with us too because we have a lot of fun with it just as much as they have fun listening.
So I kind of put Brandon on the spot today in the classroom because I knew the kids would really love it when I asked you to draw on the whiteboard. And they knew right away who the character was. Who did you draw for them today?
I drew Drew, and they knew exactly who I was drawing almost before I put anything on the paper. So that was kind of special for me. And then, of course, I started drawing it. They were so impressed at how fast you can draw it, and I only put like a few lines on the paper or on the board, and they jumped right out there. They knew exactly who it was, so they were excited.
So one of my positions here at KVCR is the outreach, reaching out into our community. And so having the opportunity to take you to the campus of one of our schools here in a socio-economically depressed area and watch their little faces. They were so impressed. And what I really liked about it was the opportunity that they saw that the people who wrote this book and drew this book were standing right in front of them. You know, I think they really appreciate it, and I tried to instill in them that this is something they could do. Did you think you could do something? Well, Justine, you did at a very early age. But Brandon, what about you? Did you take on the art at a very early age? Were you one of the kids that was doodling in the classroom?
I doodled on everything, even the computer desks, and I was doing things they weren't supposed to draw on, so I was always getting in trouble. But I always knew that that's what I wanted to do, and the more you draw, the better. But we had special guests come in too, and they would draw and they would do special presentations, and you can only look up to them. You're only excited because how good they are. You can't even believe that they can draw these things. It just inspires you. So when we come in, Justine comes in as an author, I'm an illustrator. That's what they want to be now. That's what they want to go home and start practicing, and it's amazing.
All right, so let's talk about the third book. The third book is Drew and the Cyber Bully. Justine, why did you go here on this one? Great subject.
Well, I think it stemmed from when we were originally talking about Drew's Dancing Drum and doing interviews, and I was like researching bullying because obviously it's a topic I care about, and most of the articles were about cyberbullying, and I realized there are movies about it now, and it's such a big topic, and I think it's probably one of the most prominent forms of bullying, at least like in my age group because I am a teenager. And I realized that little kids now know what phones are. When I was 5 and when I was 6 and 7, their iPhones weren't even a thing. But now they're so big, and little kids know what they are. And so I want little kids to be educated about them in a fun way and know about social media in like a non-harmful way. And they're also reading, So I think that benefits them in both ways because they get to play an app maybe if they want to play an app, but they also have a book to understand about social media. And that was really important to me.
Now currently, the first two, Drew's Dancing Drum and Drew Meets Boo, have been animated and are airing on PBS stations throughout the nation. What does that mean? Have you heard back from people that have maybe seen it on television and any response you've received? Either of you?
Yeah, even today. Little kids, they were coming up to us, and I started reading the story, and he said, "Wait, I know what happens," and he spoiled the story, and he was like, "I watched that on KVCR." He was so excited, and he said, like, my older brother watches this, and it was just so crazy to me that they knew my story without, me even having to tell them about it first.
And Brandon, how is it for you after you've done the artwork, where the animator brings your artwork to life? How is that for you? Because I know you actually probably could have done that yourself, right?
Yeah, it's always interesting when a different artist has a unique take on your work than you would have thought, and they bring to the table something brand new than you didn't even think of. So it's really inspiring, and it's always an amazing collaboration to see what someone else would do, and you would never even have thought of it. So I like that. Yeah.
Now I'm speaking with Justine Danielle Del Monte and Brandon Chappell, who are both the author and the illustrator, now in a series of books, of Drew's books. Will there be a fourth?
Well, we hope so. Yes, we have some ideas stirring around.
Very cool.
Yes.
So by the time you graduate from high school, you're going to have a full series of books over here. So what do you want to do when you get to high school or move on to college? Because I'm assuming your mom's going to make you go to college. Not make you probably want to go to college.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for college. I do want to go to college, and I do love working with people, and especially today with the kids, I learned, like, I love interacting with people and reading to them and teaching them things, and I think no matter what I do, even if it's not, like, writing books, I mean, I've already written 4, so I don't know if I want to write more, we'll see, but I definitely want to work with people, because I don't have the artistic talent of Brandon, but I do. I love working with people and working with kids too.
Brandon, what do you plan to do?
I want to eventually make, all these animations and things that we draw and produce into film for, just everyone in the world to see.
So Disney or one of those, who's the other one? Pixar. Thank you.
Yeah.
Or Pixar would be great.
Well, I've always wanted to work for Disney, of course. It's like every animator and artist's dream. So hopefully one day.
You never know, right? So let me ask this last thing. October is Bullying Month. And what you've done with all of these books is different types of bullying. Each story has dealt with the bullying topic, right? Did you think you would write 3 on the topic? Because it seems like your first one would have been, okay, that's bullying. But then you came up with more. How did you keep developing more concepts? Mm-hmm. October is Bullying Awareness Month, right? Yep, thanks. Nope, thanks. Now, October is officially bullying. Okay, let's try again. Now, October is officially, kind of, the Bullying Awareness Month. It's bringing the topic of bullying to the public. You wrote 3 books on it. After you wrote the first one, how did you know there was more bullying stories in you?
Well, I did it. I had to think about it, and I realized that I had never been bullied in the same way that Drew had been bullied, but I could still relate to it. And so I looked at ways in my life and ways that I had been bullied or my friends had been bullied, and that originally sparked Boo, because I knew there were people in my life who had probably had problems just like me, but they took it a different way. Like, Boo is so positive, even when she gets bullied, and so I wanted to write about that, because I know other people could relate to that. And then, like I said, with the cyberbullying, that's such a big topic as well. And so I could have steered Drew's Dancing Drum in a different direction and not talked about bullying and maybe talked about different topics. But I think if I have, like, the power to spread the message of bullying or anti-bullying as much as I can, I wanted to do it. And these books allow me to do that.
Brandon, I just want to say one last thing. When you brought Boo to life, and I talked about it today in the classroom, Boo has red hair. Why does Boo have red hair? We're on radio, remember?
Okay, so she has red hair because Justine has red hair.
And so that's why you decided the character should...
Absolutely,
resemble.
absolutely. And we even did her little hair, long and curly, and Boo is a representation of Justine in a sense, and that's who we modeled the character after.
Well, Boo is very cool. Thank you both.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now here's a reading of Drew and Cyberbully. Nope. And now here's the reading of Drew and the Cyberbully. Good. Yep.